Hello, friends. This is Margaret with Alabama Prepper. I hope everybody's having a good day. It is semi-sunny here today. We got a breeze blowing. We're hoping the water gets back down this weekend so people will start fishing. That's what we're hoping and praying for. We've had a lot of rain, but we're thankful for that too. Thank you for all my subscribers, all my new subscribers. I have not got through all of my replies that people sent me. I've had my great grandbaby for 4 days this week. He just went home last night, and so I got a lot of catching up to do. So I will read them. Thank you so much. I wanted to talk with you a little bit today. Are we in a recession or are we in a depression? We are in one or the other. I would like to get your comments on it. My mother-in-law, oh, she had so much information stored up in her head that I wished I'd have got so much more from her, because they went through the depression, and you know, and she could tell you just how everything went. Can you imagine cooking on a wood stove? Now, to me, I know to the younger generation, you know, that would probably be horrible. But I always loved the Waltons, and I love the Westerns. I love James Stewart has a movie, The Shepherd, may be the name of it. Anyhow, I have it taped, but it is one of the best movies, and they grew all their food. Of course, it had a sad ending. They grew all their food, and they would have this meal on the table that was just out of this world, out of food they grew, but they had a wood stove. And I love to watch the Westerns. I love to see how they done things. You know, I would love to do stuff like that, but I know a lot of people's not. It's not something that a lot of people would want to do. A lot of people says, I cannot do without the air conditioner. I cannot live without. I can't live without the electricity. I've got to have it. I've got to have the running water. All of these are not necessities. They are material things. You don't have to have all these things to survive with. As long as you have wood, you have a place you can cook your food over, you have a thing fixed up where you can water can, bath can, anything. It takes longer, but you can still can. Running water, city water. We do have a pump here. It went out several years ago. But still in all, you gotta have electricity for it. You gotta have electricity we have McCall water here. You have to have electricity to have your water. But we can go to the creek. If push to shove, we can go to the creek and get water. There's plenty of fresh streams around here we could go, we could go and get water. Water is a necessity, but there's other ways of getting it than having the city water come to your house. As far as going to the bathroom, when I was growing up, you may not believe this, but when I was growing up, from the time we were poverty, my family was poverty. My mother worked. My daddy was a severe alcoholic. There was 6 of us kids. The oldest boy went in the service. The second one went in the National Guard, but he was he was in the National Guard, but he was home and he was working, and that left 4 of us. We got our food from commodities, or the family. We would help the family put up vegetables all summer, and they would bring us stuff. We did not have a freezer. They would bring us enough of stuff that we could pack in the refrigerator. We did not have an indoor bathroom. We didn't even have an outside bathroom. And that sounds horrible. I know it sounds horrible, but our neighbor got a newspaper every day, and she gave us stacks of newspaper to use for the bathroom. We were poor people. We, to take a bath, we had basins that we used to, you know, that I know a lot of you know what I'm talking about, but we were poor. I mean, we were poor. We could not afford groceries. We hardly ever got anything from the grocery store. Everything was commodities. We made our own milk out of it. We had cheese. We got flour. We got lard. We got peanut butter. We probably got oatmeal. You know, we got stuff like that. That's what I grew up on. I got married when I was 18 years old. Me and my husband both were 18 years old. We had went together for 2 years, you know, and we knew when I finished school that, you know, we were going to get married. And I did finish school. I finished school in May. We got married in July. I went to work at a sewing plant in the last of July, I believe. And then, you know, I worked a little bit. My husband worked a little bit. We lived with his parents for 5 months. We had our own place when we first got married, but we had an automobile problem, so we had to move back in the house with his parents so we could use their car to go back and forth to work. We bought our first trailer that December. We bought our trailer and put it beside my husband's parents. And then from there, the next year, I got pregnant with my first child, a little girl. I had her in December, and she lived 5 days, and we lost her. I have 2 more children now, and both of those are boys, so I didn't get the little girl. But all in all, I had a very poor life. We did have an electric stove. We had to, my dad was an alcoholic, and he would not cut wood. And we had some friends after that lived nearby us. It was 2 boys. And in the afternoon when we got off from work, out of school, them 2 boys and me and my sister went down in the woods and gathered enough of wood for us to have for that night and for the next day. We were the poorest of the poorest. We did have electric stove. But anyhow, that was a long time ago. I wouldn't want to live that bad again, but I could if I had to. I've had my training, so, you know, I could live like that. In our family, my oldest brother now came down with memory loss about 2 years ago, and he's just going downhill. I have another brother, and he's doing quite well for himself. My sister is doing, they have just been blessed. They, you know, God has been good to my sister and her husband. But even though we had a terrible childhood, none of us got on drugs. My oldest brother passed away that went in service. He passed away from the cancer that you get by going over to Vietnam. But now he was an alcoholic also. But he died about 8 years ago, I guess. And he died, you know, from he had bone cancer from, you know, whatever, Agent Orange or whatever it is over there. But all in all, even though we was as poor as we were, and we struggled, you know, we made it. The Lord has been good to us. Me and my husband will be married 53 years this July, the Lord willing, and nothing happens. We grew up together. He was 18 and I was 18. And believe me, we've had our ups and our downs, but if it hadn't been for God, we'd have never made it. But, you know, having God in your life and in your family, you know, He will help you to get through it. Do I think we're living in a depression, or do I think we're living in a recession? I can't say we're living in a depression yet. What my mother-in-law used to tell me was how they rationed out their food, the gas, they could not get the gas. The gas was so high. Anywhere they went, they had to carpool to go, because a lot of people had no jobs. They had no way to buy to go, so they carpooled a lot, and different ones, you know, went with them to get what they wanted. You could not afford meat, but a lot of people farm. Mostly everybody raised hogs and chickens. Now, they may not have raised cows, but they did raise. I can remember my grandma going out in the chicken pen on Sunday and just chop the heads off of 2 chickens and pluck them and fix them for dinner. I don't know if I'd want to, I don't know if I could do that or not. But there, you know, right now I believe we are in a recession. I can't say we're in a depression, because it has to get a lot worse. It's bad enough, believe me, it is bad enough as it is. Food is ridiculous. People cannot afford to go and get the groceries that they wanted. When I broke my foot 4 weeks ago, I haven't been anywhere. It's just so hard for me to get around with the boot. But I went and made an online order to Walmart. First one I've ever done in my life, but my husband went and picked it up. $521. And we started running out of a lot of stuff last week. I sent my daughter-in-law to the grocery store for me on Tuesday with $81. I went back, one of us went back in the grocery store and spent $37. So even though I spent $521, it didn't last us. And I have a lot of canned stuff. I have canned stuff. I have stuff in the freezer. If I didn't have all that put up, what would I do? I could not run to, we live 15 miles either way from either Farmington or Breton. So we couldn't go back and forth to Breton to pick up what we needed. But anyhow, I just wanted to touch base with you. As you all know right now, I'm not able to can. I'm not able to, I do very little cooking. I mean, and I'm talking very little cooking. So, I can talk, you know, that's about the size of it right now. But I would like to, if you're interested and you want to hear what I got to say, we're going to be talking on recessions, on depression, on necessary things and unnecessary things, and things to do to get prepared for whatever we are going to be facing. And I believe We're already seeing it now. I've done seen where there's been 2 more ports that's been closed down this week. That's where our food goes back and forth, and I, you know, I saw that the most that the stores have on their shelves are enough of food to last 3 days. So do you know what kind of chaos it will be for people not to be able to find food? It would be totally chaotic. But anyhow, I hope you've enjoyed my video. Thank you for watching. For all my subscribers, for all my new subscribers, I love each and every one of you. And until next time.